Let's tap. Alright, welcome, Riccardo here. This is going to be a very spontaneous lesson, and I will be talking about a cascading tapping lick. You just heard it at full speed. Let's break it down together and let's figure out what's happening and how to play it properly. If you already recognized the fingering, this is all about pentatonic scale. It's just pentatonics and the most common box of all. Box number 1. Key of E. I remember I created this lick for a student one day during a lesson, but this happened years ago. And for some reason, I really like this lick. I don't take full credit for this sort of idea, because you might say this kind of phrasing in Greg Ho, for instance, or Kiko Loureiro, but I think they didn't apply it too much on the pentatonic. They do something similar, but it's more about arpeggios. So if you're interested in this topic, let me know in the comment section. I will be absolutely glad to talk about these arpeggios, these stepped arpeggios as well, but another time. So what's happening here is basically box 1 pentatonic, key of E, so it's... And just for you to know, you could play the exact same phrase without tapping, but to me, tapping is more comfortable in this case and even faster. So this is very much about speed. You know, when guitar teachers or people online say, hey, it's not about speed, speed is not important. I totally agree, but not today. This is totally about speed. Alright, so let's have fun with it. What we play is a blend of box 1 and box 2. So I already showed you the box 1. Box 2 is same notes, same intervals, just different positions. So this is the root, E. I don't like my tuning. Hopefully this is going to be better. So, where was I? Box 2. Alright, so again, E, G, A, B, D. E, G, A. We have lower notes in the same shape. Let's take a quick look. That's the box. This lick is just these two shapes combined. The notes we are playing with the right hand, the tapped notes, are mostly the box 2 pentatonic. And the notes we are playing with the left hand, the fretting hand, are mostly box 1 pentatonic. Except this G, this is box 5. We have this little digression. And we end the whole phrase on the 12th fret, 6th string. The lick starts on the 1st string, 12th fret, E, plus A slide. E, G frets 12, 15. The tapping hand plays this A, 17th fret, 1st string. That's the starting of it. Then, the most interesting aspect of this lick to me is the fact that we play the so-called hammer-ons from nowhere. It's basically when you tap with the fretting hand. So we have this D, 15th fret, 2nd string, we just hit it by the fretting hand. Then we repeat the pattern. So this is E, tapping hand, and D and B, fretting hand. And then hammer-on from nowhere, A, 14th fret. On the 3rd string, we just move a half step down, a fret lower, only with the tapping hand, and we play B and A and G. So, same idea on the 4th string. We tap with the fretting hand. It's E, G, E, D. 14, 17, 14, 12. On the lower string is exactly the same pattern. Then slide down A down to G, and the closing note E. Again, the whole thing. In this very moment, the pattern is kinda interrupted. This is something else. Hammer on, tapping, pull off. And then the last note, E. Now, it's your turn. Now it's time to experiment with it. Once you nail this lick, this is what I always ask to students. Once you nail the exercise, then the actual work starts. The exercise is the starting point to make it yours, to make your own version of it. So that's crucial. That's very important to develop your own style. So we could do a lot of variations on this tapping line. And for instance, we could move this entire thing from box 1 and 2 to box 5 and 1. Why not? Box 1 is the same, box 5 will be. In this case, this variation would be like this. With the D as the last note. Why not? You can experiment with different pentatonic boxes, and I mean closed pentatonic boxes like 1 and 2, 5 and 1, 4 and 5, and so on. Or you could kinda expand the whole thing and playing, I don't know, box 5 with the fretting hand and box 2 with the tapping hand. So it's gonna be something like this. That's the idea. I suggest you to experiment as much as you can, and if you like this sort of technique, dig in, go deeper with it. That's all for today's lesson. Remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Leave a comment if you have questions. I will see you next week with another piece of content. Thank you so much, take care, practice a lot, ciao!